Well, why don't you guys explain kind of what happened before you came to our office and everything?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. This is my wife, Heather. In early May, I was diagnosed with brain tumor. Having some headaches, went into the hospital. They did an MRI and had a brain tumor. So went to Kennestone, Emory, and stayed there a little over a week. They sent me home with a diagnosis of a glioblastoma stage 4. We were talking earlier, they don't really have anything for that in their medicine cabinet, in their arsenal. So wife and I said, well, you know what, we'll put it in the hands of the great physician, and Lord, please just make us a path. Show us the way. We know that nothing is beyond his reach, so that's what we did, and led us straight to you.
Yeah, and so I was doing a lunch and learn, so a big thing, my patients in this office, I mean, you guys are phenomenal, and so one of our patients, Laura Kirkland, set up this lunch and learn at her office, and so I did this talk on just natural health, how to maximize your energy levels, and Heather was out there, and you said you heard some things that you had never heard before, right?
Right. We came home from the hospital, and we're trying to do everything right and eating whole wheat, and thought we were on the right path. No one had ever said to Ryan, stop eating sugar, carbohydrates.
Somebody that has cancer here, quit eating sugar.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We'll talk about that.
Just so you don't leave with all that information. But no one had ever said that. The doctors at Emory had never given us any type of direction as far as nutrition was concerned. And so Dr. Jockers presented a lot of information that I had never heard before, and I went home with a completely different perspective about the direction. And again,
Yeah.
God was so faithful to have laid this path, and that was
Exactly. And what was it like being a mom of 2 kids, 2 growing kids, and having your husband with more or less a death sentence? What was that like?
It was devastating.
Yeah.
It was devastating. We have an 8 and a 10-year-old, and it was devastating. And you don't, you don't hear a lot of good news from the doctor. So
Yeah.
Don't look for bad news.
Yes,
Anyway.
Exactly.
There's plenty out there.
So anyways,
Put yourself in a positive.
Yeah, exactly. And what was that like for you, just real quick, as well? Just
It was tough. Here's my boys.
right over there. There's the guys.
Yeah, and it was tough. Who wants to leave their wife and young children? Nobody.
Yeah.
So, and definitely, I don't know if anybody here, but I wasn't prepared for that. I'm 40 years old, and so that wasn't an option for me. I had to find a different way.
Yeah. And they just sought the Lord on it, and
Absolutely.
came in the office and started on Maximize Living. This was late September, early October, right?
Late September, yeah.
Yeah. And the last MRI, when was that done?
that was done in March. The most recent one
Yeah.
was done in March.
In March. So basically about 6-month period of time. And you said it was 5 centimeters when you started, the brain tumor?
Yeah, so that's about the size of a golf ball.
Right. And where's it now?
About the size of a marble.
Yeah. And so that's about it. So a couple of things we got to remember. Number one is, God's the healer, and we'll talk about that, right? That He's healing Ryan, and He's healing, this family and restoring them. But they took dedicated action, right? They sought out knowledge. They sought out how the body heals itself. And these guys are just, they just live it to the T. I mean, they just follow the recommendations. They followed every step that we told them. They were willing to risk, security, finances, all those different things in order to get his health back. And now he's got his life back.
I knew nothing about chiropractic either. So, I came in here thinking, this guy's quack. But he sold my wife with some speech, so whatever. She got me too.
I went home that day, and I was like, we have got to make some changes.
Yeah.
In fact, right after that meeting, when you spoke, I walked up to you and said, this is where we are. I have to see you. And
Yeah.
He said immediately, I can help you.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
You were right.
And you have.
Absolutely. And so praise God, and it's just been an honor and a privilege to be a part of your testimony and to see this transformation. And the great thing is, Ryan hasn't stopped there. It's not about him just getting well. He's been on the phone with another gentleman, Kenny, that's in our office, who was basically given weeks to live. And now Kenny has turned this around. He was in a wheelchair. I mean, you couldn't even say his name. Now you can actually have a conversation with him. And Ryan has offered his his support to anybody that comes in our office that doesn't have hope, that's been given up by the medical model, or just needs a word of encouragement. We're going to get them on the phone with Ryan, because we know that there's no accidents when it comes to the spiritual world, right? And that Ryan ended up with this condition because God knew he was strong enough to handle it, number one. And number two, that this is part of his calling to help others that have been given up by the medical model. So why don't we give him a round of applause?